It's KVNU Aggie Game Day, getting you ready for tonight's Utah State basketball game.
Step back, got it!
With longtime voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis, and one of USU's best ever, Jalen Moore, breaking down the game. Plus, feature interviews with players and coaches, and all the information on the college basketball scene. KVNU Aggie Game Day is brought to you by Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, LSS Insurance, Young Truck and Trailer, DD Auto and Salvage, My Mattress, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Elements Restaurant, White Pine Funeral Home, Les Olson Company, Prodigy Brewing, Cache Valley Bank, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, Daryl's Appliance, HSA Depot, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Alpine Home Medical, S.E. Needham Jewelers, Thermo Fisher, Primrose Home Care, and Golden Spike Electric. It's the KVNU Aggie Game Day pregame show.
Well, it is game 16 today. The Aggies are on the road for conference game number 3. Coach?
We're excited about our next opponent, and obviously we know it'll be a tough environment. Boise's playing good ball right now.
Some have been tweeting out that they may even be close to a sellout in Boise today. But this series, Utah State and Boise State, has some of the most eventful that we have had in basketball. Lots of moments do stand out. I remember when the series got started in the 70s. The Aggies won up there to Boise, played in their small gym, and won before they had the bigger Taco Bell arena. Utah State's been up there quite a few times, it seems like, in the NCAA. A Larry Eustace, Marcus Saxon team stormed off in a huge overtime win in 1997 in that building. Troy Roll posterizing that dunk over a Boise State players a few years later than that. I remember the best free throw shooter in America at that time was Kobe Carl, playing for the Broncos. That was probably 2008. He missed 2 free throws late in the game, and the Aggies somehow came back and won the game at home. Reggie Larry later that season knocked us out of the WAC tournament in Las Cruces. And after 18 straight to open this series with Boise State for the Aggies winning at home, with home victories every time, the Broncos finally won in the Spectrum, and then they went on to win the next 3 years. Infamous USU history man David Collette making that winning three-pointer to beat the Broncos in Boise, 2016, and then 2 unbelievable finishes. The Broncos lead Sam Merrill and the Aggies by 7 going into the last minute. Only our Aggies found some way to get it to overtime and 1 going away. And then the complete reversal the next year. Remember, Utah State was up 17, 18, 19 points in 2020, and they collapsed, and Boise State did the same to turn it back and win the game in overtime. So now it's the last 4, 3 of them in now the Extra Mile Arena, that have all gone to the wire in most cases, but the Broncos have either made the stop or made the winning basket like they did in the Spectrum last year. Remember, it was Marcus Shaver. The only basket he made against the Aggies in Logan last year when he was on his hot roll on the season, Aggies had shut him off, and he made a three-pointer with about, 1.4 seconds to go in the game to pull out the win over Boise State. So we probably should expect the unexpected. We hope we have a great game today. Hopefully the Aggies can stop the recent trend of not, beating Boise State. Max Shulga told me going in, he's going to be my Aggie interview today, that there's not revenge on his mind when he goes into this kind of deal, even though he hasn't beaten them yet.
Yeah, we're just focusing on our next game. I'm not really looking into we lost to them 2 years in a row or stuff like that. We're just focusing on winning this next game.
So the Aggies do lead the series, but it certainly doesn't feel like it the way it's gone lately. We wait for this 4:30 start today on FS1 TV for this afternoon or evening contest, at whichever you prefer, as we begin our Aggie Game Day today. Al Lewis here with Jalen Moore, the Aggie basketball star, and our S.E. Needham Jewelers is one of our sponsors of Game Day today. Remember, it's downtown Logan with great diamond jewelry engagement sets, and Thermo Fisher Scientific, making the world healthier, cleaner, and safer. We appreciate them being sponsors. And Jalen, certainly you played in some of the memorable Utah State Aggie contests against Boise State. Do you have any remembrances of playing against the Boise State Broncos right off the top of your head?
Yeah, just every time we played Boise State, it was almost similar to a rivalry game playing another team from Utah, as in like a BYU or Weber State. Every time it was just a hard-fought battle. Most of the time, like you said, the games are close. Possession games happen to win on a buzzer beater. Obviously I remember the David Collette game winner up in Boise State, and just all the weird things that happen. Us obviously like getting a technical at halftime for dunking, and then they get the 2 free throws at the start of the second half, and like something crazy just always happens in the series. But like you said, it makes for good basketball. It makes for fun. And I think Boise State coming off a big win against San Jose, us starting 2-0, I think that this is going to be another one of those games where it's going to be a possession game and come down to a lot of the little things that win you basketball games. Only
one game that you played against Boise State really didn't go to be a one-possession game in some ways when you thought about it. And you were just 2-6 against them. That's kind of when this series started to kind of change the fortunes for Utah State. Once the Aggies led this thing 30-9 overall, it's now 34-20. Hey, let's face it, though. Leon Rice is now the most veteran coach of anybody in this league. He's done a great job of building this Boise State program, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does. He has. And the thing is, in the past, he has had a lot of success recruiting. You know, he's even had a lot of good guys that have gone to the NBA and tried to make a name for themselves. And this year, you know, he's got more, I would say more of like a team. You know, this in the past, usually you have, hey, we got to focus on Derek Marks or James Webb or Chandler Hutchison or Anthony Drimmick, like guys like that, you know. And this year, their leading scorer is the Dagenhart kid with 13, who does a lot of good things for him, but I think they're more solid as a team. You know, in the past, they've had a lot of players that'll score 20-plus points, and you really got to put work in on these two guys or three guys. And this year, it's more so of a team that can do a lot of things that hurt you. And so it's more of a team defense you have to play against them this year. And I think that's a little bit different than the past years.
13th season there at Boise now for Leon Rice, who left Gonzaga and Mark Few's staff to join there. 254 wins, 149. He's 12-8 all-time against the Aggies. And Jalen, of course, on that other bench over there is your former coach at one time, your assistant for a while, and then the head coach, Tim Duryea, still over there.
Yeah, still over there doing a good job. Like you said, they have a really good coaching staff. You know, they got guys that know what they're doing, that have came from the likes of Mark Few and Coach Morrill and being head coaches themselves, you know, and he put together a really good coaching staff, and it obviously shows just with the amount of winning seasons they've had. And like I said, the amount of good players and recruitable players they've gotten that come over to Boise State and play. So that's the thing, too. Obviously, I think they're going to be well prepared. They're going to scout us well. They're going to be knowing a lot of our plays, and I think our team's also going to be well prepared. And that's what I think is going to make this such a fun game is you're going to have two teams that are greatly coached. They're going to be well prepared, and they're both coming in off of big wins. And that's the thing that I think is going to make this game so interesting. And like I said, I'm thinking that it's going to be another close game, just because of the way that the series has gone so far, and just because both teams are good this year. So just like I said, I just think this is a game where you got to look for all the little things to be played out. And I think the team that does the most of those is going to come away with the win because of the way that the teams are matched up and the way that they're coached.
I mean, think all the years that Duryea was here in Logan as an assistant, then as head coach for 3 years. And I asked him a couple of years back, is this easy to go up against Utah State?
You know, I can't say I enjoy these games. You know, maybe at some point it'll be like a regular opponent or like a regular game.
I tweeted him last night, and I said, okay, we probably are expecting another great tilt. And he goes, it's still hard for me to go up against the Aggies. He admitted that after all the years he was here. So this season, Boise now 11-4. They actually had a 9-game win streak like the Aggies did as well, going November into December. They had some good wins. Texas A&M, St. Louis, Utah Valley are among them. They got walloped right before Christmas by Santa Clara. And then they led Nevada at Reno to open up conference play, but they ended up losing that one at the end. And then Tuesday night, they dominated San Jose State for the whole game. But then all of a sudden, here comes the pressure on them. They had to rally from behind in the last 2 minutes to win the game. Tyson Degenhart was the one who made a free throw to tie it. Najee Smith stole the ball. And then there's Marcus Shaver, the guy who beat the Aggies last year and then made big plays even in the game up at Boise. Later on, a couple of late shots to help beat the Aggies up there last year. He made one with 2.3 seconds to go to win the game. So we'll talk more about them in our next segment. They won 67-64 on Tuesday night, so they're 1-1. But Jalen, our Aggies are now at 13-2, 2-0 with the win against Air Force, a road victory, 77-65 on Tuesday. And I kind of had to cut you off post-game as that Zoom interview came in quickly, and I apologize for that. But part of the game on Tuesday we thought was maybe about as well as the Aggies have played this year, right?
Yeah, I definitely think it is. Like you said, especially with the place they played at Air Force. And obviously, you know, like Air Force went on some runs. We went on some runs. There's no easy game in the conference this year, and that's just what's going to happen, right? But for the most part, to to go to Air Force and hold them back down like we did most of the game. I thought our offense looked great. A lot of players played well. It looked like Funk was starting to feel himself again and actually being able to play and move a little bit more because I know he's been playing with a sore ankle. So you got to see him with his confidence back. I think Bairstow's starting to find his groove more so from outside. Shulga looked good. Trevin's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And obviously we're still getting our bench production. So I think that was one of the better games that we put together all together as a team, offensively, defensively. And that's what we're going to have to do. You know, that's what we're going to have to do every night out to have a chance to win games in this. And I think it's happening at the right time because now we're kind of getting into more of like the meatier part of the schedule. You know, you go Boise State, Wyoming, Nevada, UNLV, San Jose, San Diego State, right? Like those are all games in a row that we're going to have to play very solid to win at those places and to also win at home. And then you play at Fresno again too. So we're getting really into a deep part of the schedule. And I think if you lead that off with a win at Boise State, like our confidence is going to be high and we're going to be 3-0 in the conference.
How about Taylor Funk the other night coming back with 16 points finally, his best game he'd had since the ankle?
Yeah, I mean, it feels great. Like I said earlier, you know, it happens to everyone. No confidence was ever dropped. I think every shot's going in. So are my teammates. And, you know, yeah, it definitely felt nice to see the ball get through the hoop. But, you know, I don't really think about it too much. Never once said I was in a drought. Never once said I was cold. Game by game, you know. Those negative thoughts are just thoughts. Change your mind. You can, you know, walk into every shot very confident.
Yeah, he'd gone 7 for 34 and 3 since the ankle injury. He'd only had one decent shooting game in the previous 5, but he had 6 for 11 and 16 points. Third time he's led us in scoring. We've had 6 on our team that have led us in scoring, as Jalen talked about. We've got that team concept. We're going to talk a little bit more about that here in a moment or two, the bench and everything like that. But, again, I think, Jalen, though, the one thing – I kind of started to feel against Air Force a little bit about the Weber State game when we had the big lead first half and it went away. Second half, we didn't seem to have the same edge. And here's Air Force starting to take the ball a little bit more to the basket. And we know that the guys at Boise State are more athletic and better at taking it to the basket, posting up, doing things. So defense, again, has got to be really big in this game today for us to continue to be better than it was there for that stretch in December we had.
Yeah, it has to be. Boise State's going to be one of the better teams that we played so far this season. They're going to be bigger. They're going to be stronger than Air Force. And like we said, I think people are going to obviously see the SMU and the Weber State game of how they beat us and know that a lot of teams drove us. And I think you're going to see that a little bit more from Boise State. But the thing is, Boise State is also going to surround those drivers with a lot of good shooters. So that's the thing, too. We really do have to be on top of it defensively as a team. We got to be able to stop the drive, but we also got to be able to close out and not just get blown by, but also have to close out close enough to guys like Dagenhart, to Shaver, to Rice, because they can get hot from 3. And now if you got guys that get hot from 3 and they're also driving the ball on us, that's going to be a problem, right? So our defense has to be really on top of it this game. And I think, like I said, I think we're coached so well that I think we're going to be prepared to do those kind of things. And I think as we steadily improve man-to-man, which is what we're going to have to do, is like we said, when going into this stretch of teams that we're playing, if we want to have chances to win, we're going to have to be able to guard the ball. And I think this is a good start, a good game where we see if we made improvements in that area. And
then, of course, you're going to get defended by Boise State. When you talk about Boise State, San Diego State, Fresno State, those are 3 of the teams that annually are best in college basketball, let alone in our league as well. So Jalen and I are going to come back after our first break. We're going to go to it right now on KBNU Aggie Game Day. And, of course, later on, the NFL hit with this Damar Hamlin heart-stopping on Monday night. We're going to reflect a little bit on that. Remember, it was Danny Berger who had the scare here 10-plus years ago. And, again, my interview for an Aggie player today is going to be Max Shulga, again, who just lately has just shown, again, he's so valuable to this team because he can do so many things. He's had the ball a lot lately.
I have no problem with doing that, especially when our true point guards, I would say Steven and Rylan, are getting pressured or whenever they need some rest or something. I'm more than happy and more than comfortable to be playing point guard for.
So we'll continue here on game day. Wyoming and San Diego State 62-59. San Diego State, will check that in a moment or two. The other game in conference play, the women are playing this afternoon as well. Don't let Mother Nature spoil your situation business-wise or at home. A Generac backup generator with cold weather would be great to keep it always warm and the power always on. Golden Spike Electric. You can again, power you can count on from them. And LSS Insurance. Again, the insurance there, once you select one of their great plans from any insurance area that you need help in, their great agents will give you the best in customer service. Again, expect great customer service from LSS Insurance as we continue with Game Day here on KVNU. Advanced Heating and AC, the two-time gold medal winner in Best in Northern Utah. They're teaming up with Carrier Heating and Cooling. Carrier provides you the best furnace units available, and now's the best time to buy a new unit before the weather turns Cache Valley cold. Financing options are available. Turn to the experts at Advanced Heating and Carrier. Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, 752-7272, or stop by their showroom west of DI and online at advancedheating-ac.com.
We're not comfortable until you are. Advanced Heating and Air.
Experts tell us that the 3 areas of balance for proper health are exercise, nutrition, and sleep. This is Ryan, owner of My Mattress, and while My Mattress store can't really help with exercise and nutrition, we can help with better sleep. If a person started today to live a balanced life in health, exercise, and sleep, 3 things might happen. 1, we might throw away the bag of peanut M&Ms that we have stashed. 2, we might get up off the couch and exercise. And 3, we'd come buy a new mattress here at My Mattress.
Has inflation got you down? This is Zach with HSA Depot. Did you know you can save money by using your pre-tax income to buy qualifying medical supplies? Health savings and flex spending accounts can be used for more than just doctor visits and prescriptions. HSA Depot helps you conquer your health care by providing HSA and FSA eligible products, taking the guesswork out of the process. Come to HSA Depot next to Sally Beauty and see how much you can save. HSA Depot, 5-star review.
Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat is locally owned and operated inside the beautiful new Three Peaks Medical Plaza in North Logan. Expect the most cutting-edge techniques, qualified doctors, and friendly staff to ensure the highest quality patient care. The ENT providers have extensive training to properly treat ear, nose, and throat conditions for adults and children. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat serves all of northern Utah and southern Idaho, accepting most insurance products including SelectMed. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for appointments and details. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, located in North Logan and Providence.
It's never too late or too cold to get rid of that old vehicle. Now is the time to earn extra cash by calling DD Auto and Salvage. Let them pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it so easy and fast to get rid of your junker vehicles by paying you the most money possible. Pickup is available. If you have metal, DD Auto and Salvage in Logan wants to pay you today. Call 787-1204.
That's 787-1204 today.
See store for details.
KVNU Game Day is back with Al Lewis.
And our guys understand that, and they understand what their role is within the team, and they're happy we're having success together, because ultimately that's what it's all about. It's a team trying to win together. It's not about one player having, his own stats or his own accolades.
It is the 4th time in 10 years that we've started 2-0 in Mountain West play, but getting to 3-0 a little bit bigger of a step. And we're going to talk about the team here in just a moment or two. Updates on the games. Again, you've got San Diego State's up by just 2 on Wyoming, but Wyoming playing great without still EK in this game. San Diego State shot it great in the first half from 3. I believe it's 62-60 with about 8 minutes to play. And then Colorado State jumping on Fresno State, 53-41. Is the final score in that, or the score of that game with 12 minutes to play. And Nevada has just pummeled San Jose at San Jose, 67-40. That's a surprise score because San Jose has played so much better. You've probably been watching a little bit of the Wyoming-San Diego State game. I'll tell you what, Wyoming's playing well, still without EK.
Yeah, Wyoming looks really, really good, and I think the longer that they go throughout this conference season, the better they'll get. Obviously, if they add EK back into the mix, if he does play again, they're going to be a team that you got to look out for, especially come conference tournament time. But I think they're getting more comfortable playing together, trying to figure out ways to score without EK. And I think he is such a dominant force last year and did so much for their team. It's almost taking them to this point in the season to figure out how to play without him and make things work. So I think that's why you're now seeing them play together better as a team now. And obviously EK is one of those guys you throw back in the mix, and now Wyoming's another contender. So I think they're someone to look for as well as if EK happens to play again. And like I said, especially come conference time.
And still, Maldonado is still a handful to handle because he can do so many things in that for Wyoming. They got shooters around him. They're still good. And if they get EK healthy like the rest of them, they've battled with some injuries all the way along this year. Wyoming will be here Tuesday night for an 8:30 game. And then next Friday we go to Nevada, who is red hot, as they go to 4-0 in conference play now. Those both games will be on FS1 TV like today's game, FS1 TV for the Aggies. Now, Jalen, we have talked about this Aggie team, and we've talked about the players and the combinations they put together. There's so many ways they can play. Now, the Aggies, the S.E. Needham Jewelers starting lineup, state's oldest jewelry store where Utah gets engaged. It's Jones, Shulga, Bairstow, Funk, and Dorius. That lineup this year is 9-0. But then we know at about 4 minutes in, or maybe even less than that Ashworth and Akin will come in, and then eventually Z, and sometimes we'll see RJ and things like that. The minutes show Ashworth, Funk, Shulga, Akin, and Bairstow play the most amount of time together. Is that the best lineup, or what's your feeling still on that?
Yeah, I think that's the best lineup. I like that we start the game the way that we do. I just think it's smart, right? And why mess with it? They're 9-0. Ashworth and Akin and Z, they don't mind coming off the bench because, like I always say, they bring that energy and they know they're going to get their minutes, and they know Ashworth and Akin know they're still going to play a lot and most likely finish the game. So, they're not going to complain about it. I think that is our best lineup to start the games with, but, having Ashworth, Bairstow, Akin and Shulga playing together, like that's where we get the most production, and that's where you usually see them finish the game with that lineup, and sometimes Ryland hopping in with them too. So I like it. I think he's got his rotations going how he wanted to. Obviously, Ashworth had to start those games when Ryland was hurt, but I think now he's got his rotation, and as long as we stay injury-free and guys are producing like we have been the whole season, I think that's just gonna be the lineup that you see him roll with the remainder of the season.
Now, Ryland and Z Hamoda are the best defenders. I think the coach has already said that. Remember what he said the other night when I asked him about Ryland going after that rolling ball at the end of the game. Even though we had the game really secured at that time, he's trying to make a play. He's drawn 40 charges in his 43 Aggie games. I mean, he's making plays towards the end of the game. He got 2 deflections, couple of rebounds.
I was sitting there yelling at him. I was like, go get it. He immediately, he knew what he was doing. He didn't need me to tell him, but he ran up there and got it, which was a big play. Ryland's defense, in that one moment where I took him out of the game, we weren't getting any stops. I let the other guys know. I said, understand, I'm taking out the one guy right now that probably is playing the best defense on the court. So you other guys need to pick it up a little bit. And they did. And then Ryland came in and finished it out for us. Did a really good job.
In fact, I think, Jalen, in some ways you like our team, too, when Ryland and Steven can play together, too, right?
Well, yeah, it's good. Obviously, they're going to take care of the ball. You're not going to get a lot of turnovers. And then you have like kind of your defensive stopper in the guard position, also your guy that's going to score you a lot of points in Steven. So I like when they play together. They're a good 1-2 combo. They can get it done defensively and offensively. Obviously if we play some of these other teams, San Diego State's, the Wyomings and stuff like that, where they have some bigger guards, bigger 2 guards, we'll probably play with that lineup occasionally, but maybe not as much because you're going to have more guys like a Maldonado that can post up and guys on San Diego State that can post you up. But I like when we play with that lineup together. They're smart. They do what we need to do offensively, and then they get it done defensively too. So I think you're going to see that some tonight because a guy like Shaver's not really going to post you up as much as a guy like a Maldonado would, right? So that's the other thing too, is you have to make the lineup adjustments according to the team you play as well.
Now, there will be some post-up guys, though, in this game, and so we'll see what Boise does. But, again, we're kind of interchangeable. And then we got that number 5 spot, as you mentioned. You like Dorius at the start, about 13 minutes or less a game. And then Dan was the guy who kind of spelled out what's going on at that position for us.
So, yeah, I guess the difference with him, obviously he's a bigger body, so he can affect more in the paint, block shots, and just is a tough time to score on. With me, I'm just, obviously smaller. So I can use my quickness, obviously. I'm able to switch on to pretty much anyone, and obviously use my athleticism to rebound and whatnot. But it's a great 1-2 punch. He comes in, obviously he starts and I'll come in, change the game, bring energy to the game. But yeah, I kind of like my role. Obviously, I stand come off the bench. Obviously, accepted that role, just try and bring as much energy as I can.
So there's the Aggie lineup, and I think you and I have discussed it, Jalen. We've kind of thought Stephen Ashworth is still kind of the guy for this Aggie basketball team, and the coach when somebody tried to pin him down on that question just this week. Here's what Coach Odom said.
I think they all do, quite honestly. I think that's the short answer to it. If all of a sudden you take one piece out, it can change the dynamics, it changes the minutes, it changes the rotations. And so for us, it's not about, one player, but one player can impact the team by being removed. We hope that it never comes to that, but there's different games for different guys, and we kind of have to feel it, as it goes. Who's playing well today?
And there could be some injuries and things like that along the way, but that's what the coach said. There's not really one. He doesn't want to have anybody out of this group. So that's kind of our team. Now let's talk about Boise. Mostly a 7-man team, Jalen. Tyson Degenhart made the tying free throw on Tuesday night, and then here's Marcus Shaver again making a play. You don't want to let him have the ball in his hands at the end of the game for sure if the game's on the line today.
No, you really don't. He's very clutch. He's very confident. And like I said, he hasn't been scoring as many points as he was last year, but that's the thing that showcases that they're playing more together as a team. If you go and look at their box scores, obviously Degenhart is the guy that leads them in points, assists, and rebounds, which is very impressive. But you go look at the team, and there's a lot of games where Shaver will lead them in points, or Rice will lead them in points, or Degenhart will lead them in points. So it's kind of up and down for them, but they play well as a team, and that's why I say it's going to have to be a team effort defensively. Like I said, in the past, you kind of just had main guys, 2-3 guys that you really had to focus on with Boise State, and then they had some role players. But this year, they got 5, 6, 7 guys that can actually hurt you and win a game. And then if it's close, obviously, you want to keep that ball out of Shaver's hands. Just the confidence he searches and looks for those moments to make those big plays. Like I said, I think it's going to be a close game. So I think there's just going to be a lot of little things that our team's going to have to do if they want to win this game, especially at Boise State.
He's won 5 games for him in the last couple of years at Boise State with his shots. 6'10" Lucas Milner's been there. He plays off the bench. They don't really start big. They have this Najee Smith, who is kind of their 5th guy, a 5-man. He's a 5th-year guy, very strong. And Texas Tech transfer Shabuzo Abo, number 11, has got a really good all-around game. So, again, you got to really watch for him. But Max Rice, he used to always be just a 3-point shooter. He actually is making a lot of free throws, and he's also scoring as many points almost inside the paint as he used to be, or inside the paint as he used to be from the 3-point line. Now, as usual, they're great on defense, one of the best in the country. They're really good, 38% giving up field goals, 28% on threes, and they shoot a lot of free throws. Now, I said to the coach yesterday, Jalen, before you get to your keys, here's what Coach Odom, when I said to him, they don't seem to rely on threes like a lot of teams that we play, and they do shoot a lot of free throws.
They post the ball. Yeah, they post it, they drive it. They're really good at when they stop in the paint, at pivoting and trying to find openings for their own shot or somebody else. They're settling into their roles.
And so that's kind of what they do. So let's get to Jalen's keys to the game. Remember, health savings accounts will be used for more than one doctor visit and prescriptions. And HSA Depot helps you to provide HSA, HRA, and FSA eligible products. So find out more about that at hsa-depot.com. They're out on the highway in North Main and Logan by Sally's Depot. What have you got for keys in this Boise State-Utah State game today?
Yeah, the first key in this is very important against a team like Boise State, is we actually have to win the rebound battle in this game. I think that's the biggest key. I know every time we used to play Boise State, we have to win the rebound battle, and it's still the case to this day. Usually when they lose the rebound battle is when they've lost, and they haven't lost a lot. But I went back and did some research. A lot of those games that they lost, I think Nevada might have been the only game that they've lost that they actually won the rebound battle and still ended up losing. So it kind of proves that when you beat them in rebounding, you'll win the game. And stats so far show that they out-rebound us by 2 per game. They average about 38. We average about 36. So on paper, they are the better rebounding team. But today we got to showcase that we are the better rebounding team, and I think that's the biggest key. Number 2, we just touched on him too. We can't let Degenhart hurt us. I know he's only averaging about 13.5, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and he does everything for them. He'll post up, he can shoot, he can put the ball on the floor, he can facilitate. And like I said, when I say don't let someone hurt us, I don't mean letting him score 30, because he might not be a game where he scores 30, but if you let him facilitate for them, he gets offensive rebounds, he hustles and makes plays for them, and then he also scores on top of that, that's a way that a player himself without scoring can affect the game and actually turn the tables in favor for his team. And he's a guy that does all that. So he's a guy that we definitely have to keep watch for. And that's the thing, is we can't let him go for 20, 25 points, and he's capable of that. He did it as a freshman sometimes. So he's obviously capable of that. And then number 3, playing at Boise State, they love it. Like I said, it's almost like a rivalry game. I think there's going to be almost a sold-out crowd. Fans don't like Utah State. It was almost like a boxing match. It was very physical. And number 3, we have to match their effort and intensity for a full game, because I know that they're going to give it for a full game at Boise State. And that was another thing that when I played, that was the thing that we were told, hey, they're going to give us energy and effort, and we got to match that. And there was a few times where we didn't, and obviously those are the games that we got beat. The games that we did match it or did more than them, those are the games we won. So I think we do those 3 things today, and we come away with the win.
It's always tough. It's always fun. Lately, Boise's kind of got our number. Let's hope it changes today. Jalen, we'll talk to you after the game. Thanks a lot, okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. We've got also Coach Odom coming up on the Broncos. We promised Max Shulga. Our next segment, the sports world touched by the collapse of this Buffalo Bills safety, Damon Hamlin, after his heart situation on the field. A little over 10 years ago, remember, Aggie basketball was touched by this. Danny Berger in practice. Our trainer at that time, Mike Williams, had to use the AED that was newly acquired at that time there in front of everybody on the squad to help Danny again kind of be revived, to eventually it worked out okay.
It's extremely taxing. It's really hard. And in our case, we were fortunate that he did survive, so that made it, the game was a little bit of a celebration of him being back. So if it would have gone the other way and there would have been permanent damage or even death, that would have been, to play a game 4 days later, that it would have been really, really hard.
Didn't play at BYU the next one, but came back and played a home game at the end of the week. And Danny actually, I think, as I remember, made an appearance or was in the tunnel or something like that at that game as he was making his comeback. All right, we'll continue with more, again, on that in the next segment of Game Day here on KVNU. Game Day brought to you in part by Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic, Hearing Aid Center. And do not forget, they can also help you with headaches and migraines too. And the Les Olson Company. Half of all organizations have been victims of ransomware attacks. Take the risk. Get your free assessment at Les Olson Security Suite. LesOlson.com brings you, again, our Game Day right here on KVNU, where we do need to pause for station identification.
The station for news and talk. KVNU Logan, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
Les Olson IT is your source for top-quality technology. We carry the latest desktop and laptop PCs in stock, configured to your specific needs, and backed by our award-winning support team. And if your business demands high-performance hardware, we offer custom-built computers that can tackle any task. We also offer great computer accessories like monitors, keyboards, speakers, Fujitsu document scanners, and more. Get a quote today.
Les Olson IT.
Let's start the new year right with a huge winter clearance at Daryl's Appliance. You know Daryl's for their scratch and dent appliances. Now save an extra 10% off through January 14th. They have selected appliances marked down to move fast. Plus, get 18 months financing on your purchase and you'll get Daryl's exclusive additional 2-year warranty. And the famous Daryl's difference, because service always comes first. Only at Daryl's Appliance, west on Airport Road.
Alpine Home Medical has been around for over 25 years. Can you believe that? Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent. What keeps us coming to work every day? We're passionate about caring for you. From home and bathroom safety to transportation, mobility, recovery, oxygen, sleep, and more, come into any of our 10 locations today and let us take care of you.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Visit us at alpinehomemedical.com.
For more than a century, S. Needham Jewelers has been repairing jewelry and watches in Cache Valley. We do all our work on premises, and you may even talk directly with our expert technicians. We also have today's state-of-the-art equipment, including a laser welder that will repair jewelry with precision. We guarantee our work and offer competitive prices. So whether repairing your precious wedding ring, sizing a ring, or simply changing a watch battery, come to Utah's oldest jewelry store with today's newest technology and repair. S. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block at the sign of the clock.
Nothing compares to the warmth and feel that a wood stove provides. The two-time Best of Northern Utah winning team says there's never been a better time to replace your old inefficient wood stove and install a new energy-efficient EPA-certified Vermont casting wood product in your home. The U.S. government is offering federal tax credits of 26% on your wood stove install. For Vermont casting units, that includes stoves, venting, and labor. Call or email Advanced Fireplace and Stove for a free in-home estimate. Call 435-752-7272 or go to advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
It's KVNU Aggie Game Day, brought to you by My Mattress on News Talk KVNU.
The first 4 minutes of any college basketball game is a little bit slower. You know, for me being able to come off the bench and still have an impactful role, you know, maybe there is a little hidden advantage to that.
Stephen Ashworth, remember we talked to him about being, again, a guy coming off the bench, and Splashworth still leads the country, the number one three-point shooter in America right now at 53%. And only Brian Green, 13 seasons ago, ever shot 50% for a whole year from three. J.C. Carroll almost did it in 2007 and 8. And, of course, news this week, one of our newest Aggie Hall of Famers is J.C. Carroll, and now number 20 will be retired on that February 18th game against Nevada. So you might want to get tickets real fast for that night. J.C. Carroll's so deserving. He's the all-time leading scorer at Utah State by 325 points over number 2, Sam Merrill. Wow, how about that Cache Valley Bank stat for you before the game? He's one of the best career three-point shooters ever in college basketball. I think over the last 17 years, only one player has ended his career with a higher percentage shooting threes than J.C. And this guy only scored half as many points, so he didn't shoot as much. Brian Green does hold the Utah State career record, but he, of course, has many fewer makes and attempts. So February 18th, number 20 will be retired. A guy who was a part of the traveling groups of Utah State basketball with me for many years. We saw firsthand guys like Brian Green and J.C. Carroll and many, many more as Mike Williams. I think it's been now at Utah State about 25 years for Mike. He's the head athletic trainer, assistant director in the department now, mostly with football, but he did basketball with Stu and Tim Duryea for all those seasons. And last Monday night, DeMar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills tackled T. Higgins of the Cincinnati Bengals in that first quarter of that Monday night game. He got up for just a moment and then was down. His heart had stopped, and we all watched and worried as the trainers and the EMT personnel worked on him. We prayed all week long, and now Thursday and into Friday, it appears we're getting better news about him. So the sports world kind of stopped a little and paid attention. It brought back to me immediately December of 2012 when we were going to go down to play BYU. I got dropped off at the Spectrum and to go on the road trip, and I saw this ambulance there. And then I walk inside, and players and coaches couldn't speak. All were overcome by emotion. And I find out that Danny Berger, in his second year with the Aggies, Stu Morrill's Aggies, had collapsed in practice and his heart had stopped. And he was going now for further medical tests in that ambulance to first Logan Regional and then, of course, down to IHC in Murray. But Mike Williams had it all returned to him as well this week with the DeMar Hamlin situation on Monday Night Football. And he talked with Eric Franson and Jason Walker on Full Court Press at 106.9 The Fan. I think it was Wednesday afternoon.
It has made me relive a lot of that stuff. Like I say, I got on yesterday and was looking at some of the news articles and everything from back then. And when it happened, Coach sent everybody to the locker room. Well, they didn't go to the locker room. They came down. Some of them stood in the tunnel. And I went up to the training room right after, and one of them was up there just crying. And so for me to see, those players and those coaches, that's the stuff I didn't pay attention to that when it happened with Danny because I was busy with Danny. But afterwards, seeing the guys, going down to the hospital, Coach Morrill going down to the hospital, all that, those are the memories that kind of brought up the feelings of the family. And you just kind of pray for all of them and hope that it all works out.
And again, it looks like it's worked out for Hamlin. It worked out for Danny Berger. But he went through with those guys the remembrance of what happened in that practice early in December.
And if I remember right, it was kind of towards the end of practice, and it was, watching DeMar Hamlin, it was similar. Danny didn't take a hit like DeMar did, but the drill had just gotten over, and he was walking off the court and just collapsed. So nothing extremely exertional, no big hit, just a straight up cardiac event. And I was actually down at the other end of the court, and I saw him go down. I stood up to walk down there, and you could tell that it wasn't, you know, a guy sprains an ankle or something, they're rolling around, so it's not like absolutely urgent, but you could tell there was no motion, there was no movement, there was no nothing. So I ran down there, and you initially, at the time, I was actually our CPR instructor for our athletics department. So I taught courses every year on it, and so that just kind of kicks in that you look down, you check the pulse. He had started to turn, lips started to turn blue, lack of oxygen. Started CPR, call for the AED. Our student manager, you know, a few things that I don't know if people really remember. Our student manager actually went and got the AED, and he brought it down, and our assistant coach, Cody Feger, is the one who actually brought it over and handed it to me. So, and that all happened, that was within a minute and a half to 2 minutes, if I remember right. We had the AED on him, and that's really what saved his life.
But if I'm not mistaken, it was not really commonplace to have an AED device in a lot of facilities like they are now, and that was kind of a big deal that you guys even had one at the time. Is that correct?
It is. We actually had one or two in our department, and we had one in the Spectrum, but that one at that time, actually somebody had called, the Ryan Odom Foundation had talked to us. I don't remember if it was that summer before, but they actually donated one, and that happened to be the one that was in the training room at the Spectrum, so that's the one we used. And since then, I mean, some things that happened right after that, we had to go, Daddy and I had to go down to the state legislation, and at that point, they didn't even have them in police cars. So they passed legislation. If I remember right, it was about $300,000 a year that was going to go to AEDs.
And the state now has them. The country has them. They had them at the stadium in Cincinnati. Again, maybe 10, 12 years ago, maybe not because it's widespread, but there have been some situations like this. And Danny, fortunately, is all doing okay. He was a pro player. I remember he left the Aggies his senior year, went and played at BYU Hawaii, but he played in pro in Europe. He's now selling medical supplies and devices like the device that saved him. If you want to hear the whole interview with Mike Williams with the guys on Full Court Press, it's available through the podcasts of Full Court Press through The Fan, our sister station. NFL got back to it this afternoon, and the Kansas City Chiefs lead the Raiders 24-3 in the third quarter. San Diego State is up 79-75 with 36 seconds at Wyoming. And Colorado State is up on Fresno now by 15. We mentioned Nevada beat San Jose earlier. The Lady Aggies lost their game to Boise State 73-56 today. And Max Scholga is next, coming up here on Game Day.
Yeah, for sure. Chemistry is probably one of the most important things in basketball, just staying together. So, camaraderie is really important, and we have that, I think.
We'll get to that with Max next as we continue on Game Day. Brought to you by Young Truck and Trailer Center. Competitive pricing offered on the trailers they have, the flatbed work trucks. They're at 2900 South Highway 89. Again, Young Truck and Trailer Center. And located by the South Walmart here in Logan, when you love your mattress, you're going to love My Mattress. They have the best in mattress deals available for you, including the best mattresses. Check it out again at My Mattress as we continue on Game Day.
Alpine Home Medical has been around for over 25 years. Can you believe that? Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent. What keeps us coming to work every day? We're passionate about caring for you. From home and bathroom safety to transportation, mobility, recovery, oxygen, sleep, and more, come into any of our 10 locations today and let us take care of you. Visit us at alpinehomemedical.com.
Experience Sunday brunch at Prodigy Brewing on Center Street. Churro French toast, beignets and berries, and everyone's favorite chilaquiles. A delicious combination of eggs, house-made enchilada sauce, tortilla chips, avocado, and pico. Brunch has an all-new meaning of tasty when you visit Prodigy Brewing. Served Sundays 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Prodigy's atmosphere is vibrant, energetic, and friendly. Whether it's with family or friends, Sunday brunch at Prodigy Brewing is a delicious experience. Prodigy Brewing, exceptional food, extraordinary service, and family-friendly on Center Street in downtown Logan.
We're heading into some crazy weather this winter, which means power outages. Tyler and his team at Golden Spike Electric can install a Generac automatic standby generator for your home so you can avoid issues when the power goes out. If you have one already, Golden Spike Electric can maintain your Generac automatic standby generator for you. Find them online at gsegenerators.com or call 435-257-3016. Golden Spike Electric and Generac automatic standby generators. Power you can count on.
It's that first kiss, that moment in time.
It's that look in her eye when you get the first sign.
We make it personal, you know when it's real.
Something for everyone, we know how you feel. Jared's fine jewelry, make it special, make it Jared's.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
It's KVNU Aggie Game Day, brought to you by Alpine Home Medical on News Talk KVNU.
Yeah, it's not as big as they were last year, but still with that same mentality to guard you, to rebound the ball, control the glass, bodies in front, and offensive rebound.
Again, that's the coach talking about Boise State's team, 11-4 this year. Again, they don't have the big guy. They had 20 rebounds against us last year on their team. 1-1 in conference play. They were 27-8 last year. They lost in the first round of the tournament to Memphis, 64-53 is the number 8 seed. And their starters back are Marcus Shaver and Tyson Degenhart. And it sounds like, remember how high Jalen Moore was on Degenhart, handling the ball, doing all these things. The coach kind of feels the same way about him and Shaver.
But he's their rock. Shaver's the finisher in a lot of ways and not afraid of a big moment. And not that Degenhart is either. He's not afraid of one either. He's a matchup problem. They're playing two guys that are very skilled out on the perimeter at the 4 and the 5, similar to the way that we played last year, being in Brandon. They have multiple post-up guys. Degenhart certainly is one of those and can really cause problems in switching.
They beat Washington State. We, of course, beat Washington State. They beat Utah Valley. We beat the Wolverines as well. The difference, we took Santa Clara big, and then they led at the half at Santa Clara and then just completely collapsed in the second half and got beat by 23 or 25 right before Christmas. They are, though, 6-1 at home. They went 8-1 last year, and they have beaten the Aggies the last 4 at Extra Mile Arena. Aggies are just 6-12 at Boise State, or playing Boise State in the Mountain West era. Our players interview today brought to you by Primrose Home Care and Hospice. Again, people have a choice. Again, you can choose their concierge health service in the comfort of your home. They're happy to educate you about their situation, what they can do. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, and it's with Max Shulga. Well, we've heard from Max Shulga after games a little bit. Haven't had a chance to talk to you face-to-face. How's the year going?
Doing good. Had a pretty good start to our conference season. Looking forward to these next games.
This has been kind of nonstop basketball for you this last year in a lot of ways when you had the season ended. I know the off season was very important for the team. And then you had all your European stuff too.
Right. I like it. That's what I do. Summer, like any time of the year. That's what I love doing. So it's no complaints from my side.
Yeah, I remember you told me last year you'd like to be at the gym anytime you can. This basketball team looks like it's a fun team to play on. Is that even an understatement in some ways, Max?
It's super fun. We got so many shooters, so many people that can do all different types of things, so many all-around players, So, it's just a joy every time I step on the court with them, for sure.
And such an interchangeable group, but I think the one thing too, is you all like each other, and that makes it, I think, a better situation on the basketball court too. Yeah,
for sure. Chemistry is probably one of the most important things in basketball. Just staying together, being able to coach each other, and just correct each other when we're doing something out of our character. So yeah, camaraderie is really important, and we have that, I think.
No doubt about that. Max, you've had double-digit rebound game, double-digit assist game, and of course, double figures points. You ever think about triple-double? That seems to be a big deal in basketball.
No, I don't really think about it. I mean, I just play the game, and it's just the way the game flows, you know. Like sometimes you just start getting things going, you get a rebound there, getting an assist there. So yeah, that's not really what I think about, but if it happens, it happens.
Mm-hmm. You do have lately the basketball more. They're relying on you to kind of run offense a lot of times. And you can do that with Steven and Rylan in the game sometimes too.
Yeah. I mean, I've been playing point guard my whole life, pretty much until I was like 16, and then I moved to shooting guard. But all the skills and all the game vision still stayed with me. So yeah, I have no problem with doing that, especially when our true point guards, I would say Steven and Rylan, are getting pressured, or whenever they need some rest or something. I'm more than happy and more than comfortable to be playing point guard for us.
So does the game change a lot for a guy who is running the team as far as being more of a shooting guard? Is it a big change?
Not really for me. Maybe for someone it would be a big change, but it wasn't really a big change for me. It's just in-game adjustments. It's really quick for me, so yeah, it's not really that difficult.
Then defensively, do you always get a major assignment for the other team as far as a guy who's on the perimeter? Is the coach always giving you that assignment?
Yeah, I think so, and also most teams have their best players at 1-2, I would say. So yeah, maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's not, but yeah, I'm usually guarding one of the main guys, and I have no problem with that. That's what got me on the court here at Utah State, and that's what I'm gonna continue to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next game's Boise State. I know that was one of your 2 starts last year. In particular, though, I look back, I don't think they were great games for you statistically, and I know you guys felt bad. I mean, played 2 really good games against Boise State last year, and you were a part of the team 2 years ago. Those 2 games up there at Boise could have easily gone our way too. That was when you first started to play quite a bit. Was that second game at Boise 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it is kind of weird that it happened with Boise like that. That we lost to them so many times, but we're definitely looking forward to the get back now with their players and just this season all along. But yeah, we're just focusing on our next game. I'm not really looking into we lost to them 2 years in a row or stuff like that. We're just focusing on winning this next game.
Are they a lot different looking team when you look at film and get ready for this game than they were last year?
They are different. I wouldn't say they're just completely different, but they did have 2 of their best players leave. So, but the other guys stepped up.
That big European guy last year had the 20 rebound game against you guys.
Yeah, he's gone too. But yeah, they have a different team, but they have also a different guy step up. But we'll be ready. We'll be ready for them.
What kind of game do you think it'll be? How will they play you, and what do you look at as far as their style?
Yeah, I mean they're very very defense oriented team. They keep you from driving into the lanes and stuff like that. They force you into tough 2s and 3s, but we'll be all right. We'll find a way to work around that. We just continue to play our game, share the ball, and good things will come out of that.
Keep it going, Max. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
He is so consistent. 12.3 scoring average, double figures 12 of 15, 45% shooting, 36 from 3, 84 from the foul line, 5.3 rebounds, 4.3 assists. His parents still in Ukraine, and again, he's really focused in on basketball this year, and again, that's great for him. Again, we appreciate that. Quick coaches segment coming up, and we'll check all those other scores and get ready for the game on FS1. Aggies and Boise State. FS1 starting here in just a few minutes.
Elements has delicious lunch specials, 2 for $30, or the new soup, salad, and bread special for just $10. It's tasty and quick. Elements lunch menu is full of scrumptious items prepared with a personal touch. Wood-fired pizzas are an excellent choice that include barbecue chicken and the bee's knees. The fresh battered halibut fish and chips with seasoned fries is always a hit. And don't forget the fan favorite Munster Burger. Casual or professional. Open Monday through Thursday, 11:30 to 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11:30 to 9 p.m. Visit theelementsrestaurant.com for reservations today.
As a small business, achieving your financial goals and ambitions can be a steep and rocky mountain climb. This is Lance Zollinger, president at Cache Valley Bank. To conquer the mountain and achieve your goals, it takes planning, hard work, and discipline. At Cache Valley Bank, we have the resources, expertise, and flexibility to help you scale your way to success. Give us a call. Let's work together and climb the mountains that await. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Thermo Fisher Scientific is hiring for their manufacturing, distribution, and warehouse team. And that's great news for anyone seeking a rewarding career. Thermo Fisher offers positions across multiple shifts, competitive compensation, health benefits, paid time off, bonuses, and an excellent work environment. Help Thermo Fisher make the world healthier, cleaner, and safer. Visit jobs.thermofisher.com and search Logan. Thermo Fisher Scientific is an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, this is Ashley with LSS Insurance. Open enrollment for individual health insurance is November 1st through January 15th. Coverage through the marketplace is available with more tax credits. You could save a bunch. If you haven't qualified in the past, try again now. We will help you navigate the marketplace, understand your choices, and complete enrollment. Trying it on your own can be frustrating. Let us help. Call 752-9493. There is no cost to work with us. Having a local agent makes all the difference. Call 752-9493.
The Young Automotive Group is proud to announce Young Truck and Trailer Center in Cache Valley. Whether it's heavy equipment trailers, horse trailers, race car trailers, or cargo and utility trailers, we're excited to offer some of the finest trailers and flatbed work trucks to Cache Valley. Our team of experts look forward to helping you find the right truck or trailer to fit your needs, with competitive prices offered on every make and model for sale on our lot. With our extensive inventory, you'll find the best deals right here in Cache Valley. Young Truck and Trailer Center, just off Highway 89 in Logan. Think young, drive young.
Hi, this is Tyler. Recently, my father passed away, and White Pine provided the funeral services for our family. They were friendly, thoughtful, and attentive to every detail. You know, it isn't often that a loved one passes away, so it was very important to my family that everything be handled just right. Because my dad was loved by so many people, we had a lot of family and friends that traveled from out of town. I really appreciate how White Pine Funeral Services made sure everyone was comfortable and that the focus was where it needed to be, on my dad and my family. They really took care of us during this tender time.
Talking about Aggie basketball like no one else can. KVNU Game Day is back.
I didn't even know we didn't score the last 9 minutes, but yeah, geez, we got to do better on that.
Yeah, the Aggies did not make a basket in about the last 9 minutes against Air Force, but fortunately made a bunch of free throws, and they had to use free throws to win the game. And again, Boise State is a team that gets to the foul line a whole lot. So the Aggies, again, have got to also make them maybe play that game as well. Advanced Fireplace and Stove, again, with Heat and Glow Fireplace. They've got the state fireplace change-out program available. They can talk to you about, again, the wood stove replacement or the fireplaces you're looking for, 752-7272. They bring you the coaches segment. Again, when you play Boise State, Coach Odom knows that it all starts where you've got to be able to handle the basketball and be able to work against and make it work against their defense.
Yeah, they pack it in there, and they go after your ball, and they're very physical. You know, their pickup point is not where some other teams' pickup points are in terms of getting way out on the court. It doesn't mean they don't pressure you or knock balls loose or play aggressive. But they're really trying to limit the amount of times that you drive inside of their defense.
And they, again, have that personnel that, again, is now about a 6, maybe 7-person rotation, Coach.
You know, they've got veterans on their team, guys that have started a bunch of games and had a really nice addition in Ogbo. Their younger guys have gotten better. You know, Rice has moved into a starting role now. They found a flow. Najee Smith's moved into a starting role. They found a nice rotation there. Shaver's healthy and playing again and playing well. And so they're a tough matchup for anybody.
And again, it's Dagenhart. So our strengths have to work. Our offense, of course, has got to make it. We've got to find some defensive help against them today as well, because they like to take the ball inside and they still can shoot the ball. So it's strengths against strengths in a real matchup today, Coach.
But we have to, flow into our offense, and that's a way of getting them to guard us, in the fashion that we would like. That would be good for us. And then, we have to be able to defend them on our end. And I thought our guys did a nice job of that in the first 2 games, and we've got to continue to play quality defense in order to give ourselves a chance.
And one last thing from the coach in this game.
Getting the rebound is easier said than done against this team. They're really good at offensive rebounding.
A very good rebounding team. So those are kind of the keys, as Jalen talked about before. So it's coming up here Again, it'll be on FS1 after this Villanova-Xavier game. Xavier has a 7-point lead with 50 seconds to play, so it's getting close to being done. I think they'll be pretty close to starting it on FS1. Lady Aggies again lost today. It was San Diego State winning over Wyoming 80-75. Wyoming's 0-3 coming here, and San Diego State and Nevada play next, and Nevada beat San Jose today at San Jose 67-40. So the two undefeateds will play on Tuesday night like the Aggies, and Wyoming will play. Colorado State did beat Fresno State today as well. So, again, Utah State's trying to stop a losing streak to Boise State, and they haven't done very well lately against Boise. Got to pull it out. Aggies are number 19 in the net rankings. Boise State is number 54. We have 7 teams of our conference in the top 100, and we've actually played 6 other teams that are in the top 100. Here we go with Boise State, Utah State coming up. We'll be back with post-game coverage right after the game right here on KVNU.